I am resident of Collinwood for YouTube. Joel Sage, that's my buddy Butch Rosenbalm. We are here to discuss the movie Outland, starring Sean Connery. He is the man. This movie, he plays a marshal, and not just any marshal, a colonial marshal. This has a tie. It's connected to the Alien universe in every way. Um, really interesting movie. I usually start off these questions, these discussions with, "When did you see this?" But instead, I'm going to throw you a curve, Butch. What, what? Because nowadays everything feels so CGI. Because mainly it is.
Yeah.
This movie looks gorgeous.
Yeah. I was noticing that, and my wife was watching it too. And when they're doing the fight at the greenhouse, I'm like, look at this. This looks so gorgeous. I mean, practical effects. Don't get me wrong. CGI is a great thing. It's a great tool. Used properly. Lord of the Rings, both trilogies. To me, that's CGI done right. That way, you have all these thousands of orcs and whatnot. But this film specifically, I don't know if you've ever seen this Blu-ray, because I've seen the DVD. Then it didn't look that good. This thing is friggin' gorgeous. I mean, I was like, I think I want to rewatch this with the commentary, or maybe even just turn. I think it would have been great with just the score, Jerry Goldsmith's score. Yeah, it's beautiful, Joel. I'll say it. I think the effects are right up there with any other film, except for maybe Empire Strikes Back, which was around the same time. But Empire Strikes Back also, had a little leg up on it there. But yeah,
I would say this movie deserves a lot of credit for a lot of things. Number one, from just a look standpoint, it's beautiful from start to finish. You're right. It's such an amazing film just from the sight of it, because it makes you, just like the movie Alien, just like Aliens, it makes you feel like you're in fucking outer space. Like you sort of feel like you're Sean Connery's character at times in this movie. And that's the atmosphere alone makes this movie alone. Don't get me wrong, I love Connery in this movie. He's really great. But just from a look standpoint, it's beautiful. And it's like, why can't we get more of these kind of movies today? I'm with you. CGI has its purpose. But there's just something about practical effects that really brings out the look in your movie.
Yeah. Why can't we get more films like this? Probably because this film bombed incredibly. It was an incredibly big bomb, which a lot of groundbreaking sci-fi films from the late 70s and early 80s were bombed. Tron was a bomb.
Yep.
I don't bad of a one, but nerds like me back then, oh my God, Tron. Most people.
Where this movie and movies like Tron really got their popularity? Rentals. I mean, really, the audience sort of came at because, like, my mom, she liked Tron, she liked Outland. So she's like, if you like Alien, you'll like Outland. It's in the same universe as Alien. That's where I learned that from. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I watched Outland, and instantly this movie became my favorite non-Bond Sean Connery movie. It's that good. That being said, when was the first time you saw this, Butch?
Let's see. I'm recording on my phone. When did this come out? 81? I think that's what 81. There's a good chance I saw it on my grandmother's literal cable box, which had little buttons you had to go up and push in to select the channel. Yes. So there's a good chance I saw, because I remember seeing Tron there, and I'm pretty sure I saw the vast majority of this film, because I remember my dad going, well, this is high noon. and for anybody that's never seen it, this is High Noon in space. I mean, this is literally the same damn film. And I don't say that rudely or anything like that, but it is. And I at the time I think I knew Connery had been Bond. Of course, by then Roger Moore had been Bond for a while.
Yeah.
I knew the name. I'll say that. Looking back at it now, I think this was arguably the first time. Well, maybe Molly Maguire's. One of the first films, though, that Sean Connery actually got to act and not play Sean Connery or James Connery playing James Bond. You mentioned it somewhere recently, I think on Facebook, where The Rock, the movie The Rock, not the actor, he's playing James. Of course he is.
Yeah.
They stink.
They stink.
Yeah, and there's fountain ones. I know the podcast.
Yes, oh my God, I'm on a podcast.
Those fountain ones, they're just really bright, and they freaking lit off a lot
Oh.
of smoke.
Yeah, that's another movie you and I need to cover is The Rock. Because it is a James Bond movie in every way. I mean, and people might say, well, they don't call him James Bond. Well, here's the thing. James Bond has gone undercover as other names before.
Those suck.
So, and here's the thing. They debate in that movie whether Mason is his real name or not. Which is great. I mean, that's one of the best things about that. When I first watched that movie, it was me, my mom, my brother, and my mom's friend. We were sitting in the living room, and we were watching this on it wasn't. I don't think it was called On Demand at the time. I forget what it was called.
Probably TV. That's what it's called around here.
Yeah, I think so. And I had seen James Bond movie, a lot of the James Bond movies at that time. The only one I didn't see yet was The World Was Not Enough at that time. And I'm watching The Rock, and I'm going, this is a James Bond movie. And even my mom's friend and my mom had said, yeah, it is in every way. So that's a movie we definitely need to cover. But this year, you're right. He's not playing James Bond at all. I agree. What I love most about this movie, and I want to get your thoughts on this. This movie sort of gives a lot of weight to the alien universe as to why how the alien sort of not only comes to be, but how it's able to not just kill people. I'm trying to find the right words. How you see how the people are in this movie. A lot of the people, how they're very careful. It's your job to enforce the law. They tell Connery this. You're right. It's high noon. But you sort of get this sense, too, that Weyland-Yutani, all it cares about is A, money, company, B, production. It doesn't really give a shit about its people. So it lets a lot of, and if Alien sort of demonstrates that, too. But this movie, I think, more so sort of gives you a peek behind the Weyland-Yutani curtain a bit.
Butch?
Yeah, it's Butch.
Hi, Butch.
Hi.
I smell like I was at a bar because that one was like really freaking stinky. I set them fountain ones off on the porch. Big mistake. About choked us all out.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I just had to tell them that and say hi. I'm leaving now. I'm sorry.
Okay. We're good. This, I remember when I watched this, and I'm pretty sure I had not saw Alien. I knew what it was. Starlog, photos, I'd read about it, and somewhere along the way, I got it in my head. Yeah, this is, if this isn't, this may not be the same company, but yeah, it sure looks like it's the same thing, and it has the same, if you will, dirty future.
Yeah.
This is an ugly place to be, much like the Nostromo was.
Oh, yeah.
It's not all Star Trek, shiny, pretty. Says the guy that's got the Captain Kirk figures over here. But yeah, this to me, this is how the company keeps order. You know, when the Nostromo goes to whatever that planet is and finds the xenomorph, as they call it now, alien for those in the you know, how do they keep their rule over all their territories? This is the way, you know, it's like there's basically two and a half really named actors in here. There's Sean Connery as the main character, Marshall O'Neill. There's Peter Boyle as the corrupt administrator.
Yep.
And I'll get back to him in a second because I had some points I want to make. And John Ratzenberger from Cheers is the guy with that's scared of the spiders. He thinks the spiders are in his suit. So I mean, this is not. It's not like there's a bunch of named people here. But this is how the company does that, and take the executive played by Peter Boyle. I'm sorry, his name is escaping me. The character. He's to me, he's evil, but he's not evil. He's like punch clock evil. You know, my job is to make this facility work. I keep my workers happy. They do a better job. We make more money. Everybody makes more money. You know, it's not necessarily. It's not like the evil land barons or old barons that we talk about in the Western films. To me, this is just, you know, this guy's rewarded for keeping things going, and something this film hasn't tied into Aliens universe is, most everybody is. I'd call it a crap sack world, and there's a lot of crap sack people, just incredibly apathetic. But by the same token, I was thinking about it today at work, and you know, last night was July 4th. I had neighbors shooting fireworks off. Yep. They're not supposed to. It's illegal in the city, and I kept getting wake up. So I went to work. I was really tired, you know, and I was like, where I had been like thinking about how all the other people in the film are horrible people. That's who I was today. You know, it's like, I'm here doing my job. You know, send me my money and send me. Let me go home or let me spend it. It's kind of sad, I guess, that's almost like that's how it is, son.
Butch, if I was your neighbor, it'd be like a Sheldon situation. Butch. No. But I do think I do agree with you. This movie, Peter Boyle's character Shepard, is his name. He's more of a he doesn't literally kill anybody. He doesn't pull the trigger, and it makes me think about a movie that you and I reviewed, a Western called El Dorado. He's a MacGuffin in every way. He doesn't pull a trigger. He doesn't physically get his hands dirty, but he's more of a behind the scenes moving the story along.
He's a puppet master.
Oh yeah, that's a great word in every way, because he even tells the marshal up front, he almost gives it away. He almost gives the plot away, but he's telling him, hey, the previous marshal ran things nice and smoothly. We hope you do the same. And it's like that. And his tone is very like, it's suggestive in every way. And it's like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
But the cool thing about it, though, he doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't, he doesn't scream. He doesn't. He's just like, he ends up, hey, I need you to send 2 hitmen. Yeah, the marshal's being a problem. Yeah, I know. And the funny thing is, he is a puppet master, very much like you described. But he's a puppet master who's also a puppet of the corporate higher ups. The guy he talks to is like, man, they're not going to like this. My people aren't going to like this. You better fix this. Yeah. I often wonder after, spoiler alert, at the end when Connery comes in and slugs, and he goes, and Connery, as far as I know, first time drops the F-bomb and slugs him. I always wondered, does Peter Boyle Shepard, does he go back to his office and kill himself? Because he's burned with the company.
Yeah.
Burned with the marshal.
Oh yeah.
Does, but that's just me.
No, that's going back because I had bought this digitally, and I watched it rewatched it 3 times before I even asked this about you with you, because this movie's that good. And the one thing I noticed too is the same thing you're noticing, that Peter Boyle's character Shepard, they tell him too, if this goes wrong, you're dead. I mean, a team will come for you. So, and you're right. Peter Boyle does such a great job being that MacGuffin too, where where Connery's character, after he finds the drugs, he destroys the drugs that the guys are taking and stuff. He doesn't want it used. He knows Connery more than realized, okay, if Shepard had one guy inside the marshal's office, he's probably got another. I think before he even dropped that I got a guy on the inside, I think Shepard maybe suspected it. He didn't know who it was, the other guy. He found out who the first guy was because he asked him, how long you been taking money? But there was another marshal who was on the inside, spoiler alert. But right. So this movie, it does a really good job of pacing itself. And here's Shepard. You're right. He doesn't scream. He doesn't holler. And even when he tells Connery's character, you're dead, he doesn't scream. He just says it so calmly. And it's like, but he means, that's a point too you brought to about his character, the character of Shepard, where he's answering to somebody. The guy in El Dorado, the MacGuffiner, he's not answering to anybody.
No.
Like he's the boss. Now, he could fear his gunman for sure. That he could do. But he doesn't necessarily fear him because he's signing the checks. Here, you don't get to see the number one, really. You see a lot of you see the number 2 and who's underneath the number. You sort of, if you've never seen this movie like me or Butch, you sort of have to guess who the number 2s are. They do reveal one or a couple, and then it's who's the other number 2, who's the other person inside. Then they reveal that, and I love how they reveal that too in this movie, because the doctor goes, "Oh, the cavalry's arrived." I'm thinking, "Oh shit, is he the cavalry?"
The minute he asks where the marshal is, I'm like, no, he's not. Yeah, it's one of those things. You're like, you you talk the Shepard being the number 2.
Yep.
And I thought about this while I was watching it, but especially just now, when I was a kid and I first started working, I worked in a fast food restaurant. I couldn't wait to become a manager. All I could think about was, there wouldn't be that many. There would be like 3 people to tell me what to do. I would be important, and I went because I thought I would look at the people, under me, and I don't mean that like I'm better than them. Just that,
right.
I had got a promotion, and then after I got my promotion, I came to realize all the people that were ahead of me. It's like you were probably better off where you were. So I kind of understand Peter Boyle's character a little bit more here.
Now it's not as bad as being promoted like you're a character in Star Wars, because especially if you're on the dark side, because if you get promoted on the dark side, basically you're dead.
If you get promoted if you're in the Empire and you get promoted and you go to work for Vader,
oh yeah, you're dead.
Yeah, if you're over on, sometimes being captain of a garbage scow isn't always a bad thing. Like Vader's not coming to the SS dumps a lot or anything.
Here's how I would play this too. If I'm a Star Wars character, hey, you're getting a promotion. Actually, it was that guy who did it. Right there. Give him the promotion. Yeah. Are you
I just said,
sure?
sorry.
Yeah. That's it. Oh my God. Uh, that's something Mark Gilman and I were talking about like a while back. I said, dude, you think about how many people get promoted to go work for Vader and end up dying. Getting that promotion, you are so fucked.
I suddenly wonder if Commander Riker in Star Trek The Next Generation, that's why he never wanted to be a captain. Because I'm going to have to go deal with all these crazy admirals, you know. Here I've got Picard. He has to deal with them. I think I'll just stay where
Now, my favorite captain, Benjamin Sisko, my favorite episode is For the Uniform because Sisko embraces basically nukes a planet. Just
somebody, I don't remember who, it might be our mutual friend Patrick, but it may not. So if you ask him and he says it wasn't him, but somebody says that's when Cisco goes full John Shaft and he just bitch slaps Eddington with the planet.
basically, yes. Oh my God, it's like Jesus Christ. I mean, it's like it's Vader with the Death Star, but worse because I mean, literally, Cisco's like, I don't give. You know what? You want me to be the villain? Okay, I'll be the villain. No problem. But with this movie,
Yeah.
sorry, but with this movie, you do get good villains in this. I do like how the number twos are they're doing the dirty work. The ones underneath Shepard,
Right.
they're really good villains for the character Connery is playing. What do you think, Butch?
Yes. Yeah. Nobody in this film yells and screams and carries on. Even when Connery does his Will Kane impersonation and going into the bar and I could use some help. You know, he's just I could use some help.
Yep.
You're hard to say yes. You got your men. My men are shit. And he turns around and walks off.
Yep.
It's the thing of restrained, I guess, is the term I would use. Not in a kind of way, more just like, well, you know, Joel, that's interesting. I don't know why you said that, but you know, hey, it's nobody's yelling, nobody's screaming. It's probably a little more realistic because of that, and it makes you appreciate it. Now, when I think the character's name is, it's not monotone, but Montone, the first deputy marshal, the sergeant, the one that ends up getting killed. Spoiler alert.
yeah. James Seacon, Sergeant Montone. Yeah.
Every time I say it, I kept calling him monotone. See, he was a little monotone.
He was.
And he's like, you know, like you're asking, they're having one of those racquetball matches. How long you been on the take? I'm paid to. They just pay me to do my job. And he's like, so you're not evil, but you're not good. And there's a quick, very in-depth discussion that they have with that. So they don't, you know, you're not evil, but you're not good. And you're stuck. For anybody that doesn't know, this film takes place on the movie. I've always pronounced it Io. I don't know how it's really pronounced. It's Io. It's a moon of Jupiter, and it's a mining facility. And they send the marshal to help police it. And people end up start taking some type of amphetamine type, and they can do basically three days work in one day. And 10 months later, they go psychotic and start killing themselves or killing others.
Yeah.
This film is very, for a sci-fi film set on a Jupiter moon, it's very realistic.
Yeah.
The people are realistic. The characters are realistic. Their reactions. You just, you know, it's like, I have no problem seeing anything in this film other than, you know, the ridiculous explosive decompression myth with the guy in the space. Beyond that, I'm talking about the people themselves.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like, man, really, this could have. They could have set this in Denver or somewhere in Colorado, and it's a mining town.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, could it be the same film?
Yeah, in every way. Outland, though it has an alien set in the same universe as Alien that's set in outer space, as Butch touched upon earlier, because he mentioned High Noon, great reference. In every way, this is a Western in outer space. Yes. No, she has not. But in every way, it is. It has all the Western feels of a lone lawman, though he has deputies, and like he said, his deputies are shit, and he's absolutely, correct in that. Sorry, in that assessment, his deputies are shit. They don't want to help him. They're basically the 9 to 5 type, and Connery isn't. Here you go. But it's amazing to sort of see that. That's the thing too. Outer space movies more copied the Western formula and took it to outer space.
Yeah, I didn't get that one straight.
And this movie does it to a T with its character, because even the miners themselves you're right, they're very realistic. They want to get the job done, and you also get the sense of why they feel that pressure of doing their job. And I'm not defending Peter Boyle Shepherd, but
No.
you get why he's doing it. Like, he's not necessarily giving them the drug to die. He's giving them the drug to enhance their performance. Hey, we pull our number, we do great numbers. He wants to continue that success, and it's only the contract is for a year, I believe, is in the moon of Jupiter, and that's what makes it so great too. When you see the outside of this place, and you see this great camera shot, and this is in Pinewood Studio, by the way, in the UK. Great job. Like, my God, it looks so great and real. And what tops it off is, like you pointed out, the real people. How the character you humanize. It's great to see fictionalized humans relate to you when you're watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It I was just thinking while you were describing it, I'm like, is there first of all, we should have done this when we were doing our non-Western Westerns.
Yes.
Totally a Western. Totally. I think it'd be interesting, and maybe you could look at Alien this way. One of the great tropes of the Western is the cattle drive.
Yeah.
Cattle drive in space somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, there's now for like if you want a good cattle drive miniseries, I would say Lonesome Dove, which is really interesting. But I do think now I haven't seen the movie Horizon. I've heard somebody did say to me recommended. So then that's
I'm sorry, but you can't smell this burning.
No, I cannot smell that burning.
You must smell like a hot
I cannot smell that burning. But with this movie, you're right. It's a Western in space, and it makes that relation to really, really simplistic. Because the one thing I love what this movie does, real quick, it gets the family, it brings the family aspect up, but it has a quick explanation of why the family why the family doesn't come with him. They're sick of going, instead of where you would hear, hey, I'm tired of going from town to town. I'm tired of going from colony to colony. I'm going to go back to Earth. That there is such a Western trope, but it's used so well here.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the why I always thought that the Western was so popular. It's so easily understandable. And this does a really good job of transferring that to outer space. And I think you have to have somebody like Sean Connery in this film because, as we said, as we said, there's not that they're bad actors. There's just no names. There has to be somebody to grab you and go, oh, he's made a sci-fi film. We should check this out. And then you get told a good story and told well. I think. Is this going to change your life? No. Have an enjoyable time, and like you said, it's beautiful. I mean, they're such beautiful external shots.
Yeah, it really is too. I think what really makes this, you talked about Connery, yeah, and you're right. There's not big named actors in this other than Connery. Peter Boyle's a pretty decent name. You know what I mean? It's not huge.
Yeah.
But what I think that dialogue between Connery's character, hold on, I'm going to make sure I get this right so I don't mess this up. Marshall William T. O'Neill is Connery's character, but really, really great interaction between O'Neill and Shepard in the cafeteria where Shepard is giving that speech. And then later on, O'Neill's like, what a jackass. Like that little there is so sets the tension. And it sort of carries throughout the movie because you keep thinking about that as things are happening. And I don't know why, maybe it was just me. I don't know how. Did you keep thinking about that little exchange, Butch, when you watched this back?
Kind of. Sean Connery's character, Marshall O'Neill, he's very much a no BS kind of guy. And the weird thing is Shepard's one of the few people that actually even welcomes him and talks to him and tries to be friendly. Everybody else is just kind of like, I'm here to do my job, shut up and leave me alone. So that's part of what makes this film work. I've always enjoyed a film with a friendly villain, and he's a villain, but he's kind of not a villain, I guess, because he's doing what the company wants of him at a company spot. I mean, I feel I don't know about you, but I feel like the rest of the marshals, the deputy marshals, they're probably all on the take, and it's just, hey, here's an extra, I don't know, $500 a month. Let's just keep everything the way it is.
Right.
And that's easily an easy way to buy it off, because it's just like, let's just keep everything the way it is, and when it gets out of control, you take care of it. And again, it comes down to I won't say essentially a hard science fiction, but it's a hard personal film. It's realistic and it makes sense.
After I watched this, I put in for Julie because I didn't know she saw it. I put in Pale Rider. The different contrast between Pale Rider and those villains and the main villain here, because you're right, he's not really the biggest, baddest villain ever, because he's working for a villain who's better than he is. And that's sort of where you look at Peter Boyle's Shepard, and it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, if you don't kill Connery's character, you're dead. I mean, you're right. There was nowhere for it. He was in between, literally, and it's not that you feel sorry for him, but he's literally a rock in a hard place. Because Connery's character, at the end of the spoiler, he goes home. He goes to Earth. And I think the reason is simple. When you think about that, Connery probably realized, hey, Shepard's probably not the main guy I'm really after. He's just a middleman. I think you can pick up on a lot of undertones in this movie that Shepard realizes, okay, Peter Boyle Shepard is working for somebody. Connery just never knew who.
Yeah.
and he probably would never know who either. And I think that's something that is unsaid, but sort of quietly not said by by Connery's character. You can sort of see it in his face almost. Like, okay, I know Shepard is just a middleman for somebody, and I'll probably never find that guy because Shepard's not going to give him up. He's not. There's just because if he does,
he's worth nothing after that.
Yeah, he isn't. He probably he doesn't trusting because even at that point, trusting Connery's character O'Neill isn't enough. I mean, that's something. It's not. I'm not saying O'Neill would do anything dirty. No, we've already seen a marshal's throat be slit. You know, we've already seen how easy it is for them to kill off one of their own, and that's something that gets told throughout this movie that is really well done, and it gives that sort of same paranoia that Alien does. That's what makes this movie so great. It pays a huge compliment to the universe it's a part of.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't know if officially it's part of Alien, but you know what? It is. It is in my book.
What's the points you wanted to make, Butch? I'm sorry, I didn't know if you.
You're good. I think we pretty much made them. I mean, it's Outland. It's Outland. High Noon in Space, and it's Sean Connery. If that right there doesn't interest you, I'm probably not going to say anything that'll interest you. You know, my generation, Generation X, we grew up with Connery. Roger Moore was playing James Bond, but everybody told us, and by the time we had seen it, that Sean Connery was Bond.
Yeah.
And, you know, bless his heart, he was stuck playing James Bond pretty much for the rest of his life. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, he's not playing Bond here. He's a human. His wife is angry with him because he follows his job everywhere. She says something that I find really interesting. Their son had never been to Earth. He had never breathed free. He'd never seen trees. And it's like, There's a lot of little things in dialogue like that really anchor these people into reality and make them seem like real people. Excuse me.
Yeah, and even when a really telling too is when Connery gets there and his family isn't. That really is like, oh shit. Like, it makes everything seem all the more real. You know, because she said, "Hey, our son has never breathed Earth there. We got a shuttle. We'll save a seat for you. Please come. Please just forget about it. You don't need to do this." And he does it anyway because he feels, hey, this is my job. But after this, yeah, he goes home.
Well, I think also, he knows, okay, say he stayed there.
Yeah.
Shepard gets killed one way or the other.
Yeah.
Shepard does it, O'Neill does it, the next him into it. What's going to happen? Somebody new's going to come in, and eventually the same thing, maybe not right off, but eventually the same thing will be happening. And they'll learn from the mistakes of this time, and it won't be as easy to catch them. And then eventually they're going to catch him. More likely they're going to hurt his son or his wife, which is, to me, that's why one of the reasons he takes off. He's like, all right, you know what? I did my job. I'm out of here.
Yeah. And you could tell that too by the end of the movie. It's like, you know what? You fellas, if you guys get another year, it's somebody else's job now.
Have fun storming the castle. I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's about it. What do you give this movie, Butch? 1 out of 10.
6.5.
Very, very, very good. Now,
Go ahead.
Sorry. I've stated this is my favorite non-Bond Sean Connery movie, so I'm going to give this a 10 because I'll admit to being a mark for this movie.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Ask anybody. had to hear about Dawn of the Dead way too much. The reason why I don't rate it quite as high as you, I do see all the things you like. Great
Yeah.
performance, Connery. He really can act.
Yep.
Great story, of course. I mean, High Noon. It has some pacing issues for me, especially during the gunfight. Even as gorgeous as it is, there was a couple of times I was like, somebody hurry up and die. It's oddly, it's like it's a low budget film that all the budget was sunk into Sean Connery's salary and the special effects, but it works. It does it well. It kind of reminds me of Assault on Precinct 13,
Yeah.
which is a low budget film, or actually, I guess probably Escape from New York would be a better metaphor, because you got one big name,
Yeah.
Kurt Russell in this case, and everybody else, some people you've heard of and maybe know, and it looks like it cost $10 million. And in Escape from New York's place, they got lucky with East St. Louis and the fire, and Outland has got some really beautiful practical effects. So, it's definitely worth a shot, worth watching. I think. I remember correctly, it is available on Pluto for free.
Yeah, I actually bought it. You can also buy it digitally on Amazon Prime, or you can, like Butch says, you can go get the DVD. Either way, you can't go wrong. It is a movie worth watching, for sure. Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I agree.
On a fun note, I was playing some Red Dead Online, and I kept bringing in my bounty hunt. My bounty's dead, and my wife's like, "Why don't you bring any alive?" I said, "Because I want to pass the Butch Rosenbalm class of bounty hunting." I said, "If I bring them alive, that's like an F."
It's so much easier to bring them in dead. When you do that, it's like when you go in, you kill them, throw them on the horse, and you're driving back. I'm sorry, riding back, not driving. And the other gang members attack him. Like, why are you attacking me? He's dead. Are you going to make him undead somehow?
This isn't Red Dead. This isn't Undead Nightmare. Like, what are you doing?
A couple of weekends ago, maybe it was last weekend, I don't even remember. It was a free weekend. I don't do PlayStation Plus, but you can play free online.
Yeah.
And I'm a bounty hunter mission. And there were these two high level people characters that were camping where my bounty was, and like I've got basic equipment, a 6-gun and the bolt action rifle and a shotgun, and these guys were like sniping me. I couldn't even see them. They just would show up red on my map, and I was just like, you know what, this sucks, and turned it off. And that's why I don't play online. You get a lot of griefers.
Yeah, I hear you. I do that online. Somebody shoots me, and so like I'll keep going at them until I at least get them once, and they're like, "You mother!" Like, yes, I know.
And you just showed up and
the beauty of playing a Western online, ladies and gentlemen, the beauty of it. Bushman, if there's a movie you want to cover at any next week, or let me know. It'll have to be Saturday.
I can't do next week because next week's our anniversary.
Happy anniversary, my friend.
Thank you. I tell you what, I'll get back with you, and we'll see about the following weekend. Okay.
For sure, buddy. Take care and enjoy the rest of your holiday.
You too. Take care, everybody.
Bye.